Well, good day, family. Pastor Jamal here, Pastor PJ Christmas or PJ Christmas. That's P, but whatever. Hope everybody's doing well, man. So today I want to talk about something that I don't really talk about as of yet that much. Me and LaShandra touch on it maybe once every blue moon, but I think it's something that we will be getting into, here in the future, more so than not. And it's more than marriage, but specifically marriage and relationships. But really specifically, man and woman, the significance of one flesh, the power of two. You know what I mean? There's so much information going on now with the social media, around relationships. There's a lot of bashing going on. There's a lot of I don't know. It's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of blame. And I can't say it's not warranted, you know what I mean, for specific reasons. But I think we have to get clear on each other's role. And when I don't mean role, I mean really each other's identity as it relates to being a man and a woman and what that looks like in the marriage or in the relationship, or just really trying to understand. Even if you're not married, you want to understand what this man and woman thing is really about. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I just want to touch on something the way that I do, the way that God moves through me. So let's get right into it. So I'm going to start off with Genesis 1 and 26a. So Genesis chapter 1, just verse 26a. And it says, and of course we know that Genesis is the beginning. So this one says, "Then God said, let us make man in our image according to our likeness." Let us make man in our image according to our likeness. So again, let us make man in our image according to our likeness. We've heard this a billion times. I'm sure we heard a billion commentaries on it. So, if it's redundant, if it's, you already know it, good, whatever. Let's just keep going. So first, God is painting us a picture that man is going to be made according to the image and likeness of God. So in simple terms, man will be made like God. Man, there is no other creature or thing on the earth that was made or has been made that was like God except man. So God really wants us to understand that. Don't sink your teeth into it. Just stay with it. Stay with that understanding that man was created to be like God in the earth, right? In the earth. So next we go to Genesis 1:27, and it says, "So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them." Let's hit it again. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. So first off, that's just painting you the picture that as God formed man, as God formed Adam, it doesn't mean one man. It's a picture of the wholeness. So God formed Adam, and inside, let's just say that inside of Adam was two things. Let's just leave it at there. Two things. He created them. He created him, male and female. He created them. So you can even say he created the Adam, both male and female. So that's just letting you know that she was there from the beginning. And I've heard a few different ideas on that. So this is nothing new. So then, what is this verse also implying? That in the image and likeness of God, there are both male and female qualities. In the image and likeness of God, there are both male and female qualities. Why is this important to know? Because both male and female have a role to play as image bearers of God. Both male and female have roles to play as image bearers of God. And you would say, well, that's right. But then you say, well, why is that so hard to, put into perspective when you're actually in the relationship, when you're actually, even if you're not in the relationship, just as a believer looking out into the earth, you see male and female everything. And yet we have a hard time to, put its pieces where the pieces go, which are right neck and neck. They're both image bearers of God. And once we can really truly grasp this perspective without all of the judgments, without, all of the, trying to play boss, trying to overlord over one another. Once we can truly grasp what God has done when he created both the male and the female, then I believe we will start to have different experiences in our relationships. So understanding you're in a unique position, as well as your spouses, will help to create a tolerance that promotes perfect and harmonious submission. And remember, we submit one to another. But once we understand our unique positions, then a tolerance will be built. I mean, we'll always have difficult moments because our perspective makes us kind of, it makes things strenuous at times because we don't see the same way. When you can have two men that don't see the same way. You can have two women that don't see the same way. So, let alone a man and a woman in a relationship trying to be in harmony, when we have two different perspectives. But when you understand who's showing up, when you understand that the both of you are an aspect of God, then submission starts to come into a more harmonious, stance. So let's go to Genesis chapter 2, 23 and 24. I'm going to start at 23, of course. And it says, "And Adam said, 'This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man.'" That was 23. And I'm going to come back to 23. 24 says, "Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they should become one flesh." A man shall leave his mom and dad and be joined or cleave to his wife, and they'll become one flesh. So what did you mean by leaving his father and mother and being joined to his wife? What does God mean? Or what did Adam mean when Adam was saying that a man shall leave his mom and dad and be joined to his wife? What did he mean? To leave your mother and father and to cleave or be joined to your wife means that you have found a suitable expression of God to be united with, that you would become one flesh, declaring that God is here. Let's say it again. To leave your mother and father and to cleave or be joined to your wife means that you have found a suitable expression of God to be united with, that you would become one flesh, declaring that God is here. Declaring that God is here. God is here. So let me go back to 23. In this verse, Adam's prophetic proclamation that the woman was a distinct and vital contribution to the wholeness of who they were together, and to be united with this other half is to embrace perfect guidance, counsel, and protection, making it okay for the man to relieve himself, per se, out of the counsel of his father and mother. Now, some things kind of some people say that the father and mother could even symbolize both aspects of God. So God is both father and mother God. And they say that because, again, he created male and female. He created, I should say it like this. He created the image, male and female. God created the image of man, male or masculine. God created the image of woman, female or feminine. So these qualities are embodied in the person or in the visible image of man and woman. So the qualities of God can be said to have, of course, feminine and masculine qualities, the way that we understand them. But that's not something to really try to go dissect. That's just giving you an image. That's just putting a language or a word, to an understanding or an idea or a thought. So we don't have to go, deep diving into some of these things, because they just point us to a specific thing. But the big truth is, when you start to understand what you are and what she is, what you are and what he is, then you can really, you really can start to live in harmony, even as it relates to the things that both of us need separately. So if a man needs to be or feel respected in his flesh or in his spirit or let's say his soul or his flesh, and a woman needs to feel protected and feel loved in her soul and in her flesh, this is just a way to find a real powerful neutral ground and understanding that this makes this union or the power of this union so available in the earth that people start to really see God visibly in the man and in the woman together in the marriage bed or in the marriage relationship. So, man, really, 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 really try to grasp what God really wants us to understand about one another. The woman has a unique responsibility to be able to speak into a man and to give the man whatever he needs to display God in that moment. The man has a unique ability to be responsible for the woman in a way that reveals God in her. Meaning, because that's the goal, right? The goal is to let God shine forth out. And these little helps or these little ideas about how to do it, between the love and respect piece, it really just, it helps to clear the pathway so God can come straight in. So whatever the man is as a carrier of God or as an image bearer of God, it will be displayed. Whatever the woman is as a carrier of God or an image bearer of God, it will be displayed through her, through him. And together, the oneness of what God is, man, shows in the earth. It shows in the earth. So, you know what I say? Make it make sense, y'all. Whatever you've been having troubles believing or trying to understand as it relates to roles, remember your first objective is to be the God that you are, be the image of God that you are as male and as female. And in the wisdom of God, use the strategies of loving and of respect and all of this stuff in between to make that visitation or make that visibility more easier seen in the earth. Pastor Jamal, y'all, I'll talk to you. Peace.